Welcome back to Our Justice Journey with Dr. Ijeoma Ononuju, Part 3, and we thank you for your continued interest in this discussion. Our next question is, what is Blackademics and what are the impacts you've seen from this show?
Man, Blackademics is my baby. So right now, I'm really passionate about increasing the number of Black educators
Mm-hmm.
in the classroom. Uh, you know this because you've been a part of it probably ever since you could remember. But the amazing thing about working with SES is that I got an opportunity to meet a bunch of amazing Black educators that, for whatever reason or another, um, could not teach in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us had criminal backgrounds, some of us hadn't finished college yet, some of us, just for whatever reason, like the path to actually getting a teaching credential and being in the classroom is super challenging. Yet we proved to everyone that we had the ability to teach. And
Mm-hmm.
some of us had the ability to teach better than the teachers that were in the classroom.
Yeah.
And so I've really spent a lot of time trying to say, like, how do we get more folks like me to pursue this path? Um, I was fortunate because as a kid, I had two Black male teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Not all kids get that opportunity. And when I say I had two Black male teachers, like I recognized them
Mm-hmm.
as Black men. Not all Black teachers represent themselves as Black people.
Yeah.
Or represent the culture in the way that I understood it, like my teachers did. And so Blackademics is really just this idea that says, like, man, like maybe if I can give more folks like me exposure,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe we can have some sort of impact on the number of youth that feel like, hey, I can actually see myself as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like maybe if we can actually show what good teaching looks like, maybe if I can put somebody like my sister Patrice or my sister Coco and give them a platform like this, and people actually be like, oh, I never even thought about doing that
Yeah.
we can improve what teaching looks like for our kids that are currently in school now. So Blackademics is a reality-based TV competition where we bring three teachers together and we say, all right, let's see who the dopest.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your topic. You got to develop a lesson plan. You got to teach it. And the thing about it is that we not even going to decide who the winner is.
Mm-hmm.
The babies is going to decide who the winner is.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to sit there and you got to listen to the babies tell you, like, hey, you did this good or you didn't do this good. Like you got to say, you got to eat that. You got to take it. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you got to adjust your teaching based on the feedback that they're giving you, right? So it's a way for us to really give students voice and empowerment, but it's also like an opportunity for us to highlight the best of the best of Black and brown teachers that are out there in this game right now. So I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping that folks really tap in and catch on. And so far we've had a lot of good feedback about it, because it ain't nothing out there like it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You don't get to see teachers teach,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you definitely don't get to see them teach in a competition. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's pretty dope. Thank you for asking about it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think that's really, really dope. And then also, where can we find it? Like, where can people stream it? Just for all the listeners.
Great question. So you can go to my website, www.blackademics.com, and that's Blackademics spelled Blackademx, right? Or you can go to our YouTube channel. If you hit the search bar on YouTube and you just type in Blackademics, again, that's Blackademx. It'll take you to our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see the couple episodes that we have. We got a new episode dropping this Sunday, the 21st, on Black History. So I've been working on the editing piece all week trying to get that together.
Nice, nice. I'm gonna go listen. That sounds like really good and all that. And I think I also really like the concept, we're not only spreading representation from like this show, but we're also spreading good pedagogy. You know what I mean? Like it's not only for the students to learn and the students to benefit, but it's also for the teachers to learn, teachers to benefit and come as a better selves and a better teacher in their classroom. So I really, really like
Exactly.
that.
I will say, like, I'm always looking for youth to participate. So we pay $100 per episode for a youth to participate. So if you know anybody out there that want to get down with Blackademics and would like a nice blue note in their pocket, send them my way.
Yeah, yeah. Do you mind? I could tell my BSU. I mean, I know a lot of people will be down if you want.
Please, please,
All
please.
right, got you.
We do different age groups, but I think we got a episode for high school students coming up here shortly.
All right, perfect. I'll let them know, and I'll let you know. But anywho, our next question is, what are some of the greatest lessons you've learned from Black principals?
Love.
Mm,
It's the most important lesson I've learned from Black principals. We love our babies in a way that forces us to give of ourselves despite it not always being reciprocated.
mm,
Um, I know all teachers feel like, hey, I love my students or whatever the case, but I just feel like the type of loving that I see Black educators and Black principals give. I would say most of the Black principals that I've looked at, particularly the Black male principals that I've looked at, like they had no design to go into education and to become a principal. Like it
mm-hmm.
wasn't even on their radar. They had different ideas of what they wanted to do with their life. They just started working with the kids, and
Yeah.
working with the kids like motivated them to do more and to do more and to do more. And so when they are our principals, they really are leading with their hearts. You know what I mean? And I would say the same thing for Black women as well. You know, Black women who go into the administrative field, like they lead with their hearts, and they're doing the work because almost as if they were called to do the work. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a profession as much as it is a divine assignment. And so
Mm-hmm.
that is what I've really learned from the Black principles I've been able to research and study.
Mm. That's really powerful. I also think, just like elaborating that and stuff, I feel like the center of it all, I feel like is love, global love. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I feel like when, Black educators have like really a purpose and they can't like they have the opportunity to make such a big change, you know what I mean? I think like it's all love, and with love, we can make such a big change. So yeah, really like that. Why did you get your doctorate, and how did that impact you as an equity warrior?
Uh, I want. I was telling the story the other day. One of the reasons why I got my doctorate is because somebody told me I didn't need to be. I couldn't. I was. Somebody told me I didn't need to be a poet.
Mhm.
That my poetry uh, was more of a dissertation than it was a poem. But there are two reasons why I got my doctorate. Um, One, I felt like, well, no, let me start with the other first. So the first reason is I have two felonies.
Mhm.
Uh, I was on a football scholarship in playing football in the state of Texas when I got arrested and got convicted of two felonies for uh, uh, sale and distribution of narcotics.
Mhm.
Right. So I knew from that moment on what my life was going to look like unless I was able to balance out those felonies with my education, right?
Mhm.
And in my mind, the only thing that would do that was a PhD. Like I can get my BA, I can get my master's degree, but I felt like if I got my PhD, then when people looked at my record and they seen the felonies, they would be like, but he got a PhD, right? Like
Mhm.
you just didn't know too many people who were like that. And so just so that I could live and live the kind of life that I would be proud of and wouldn't be going back and forth in and out of the system. That was one of the reasons why I got my PhD. But in pursuit of my PhD, I started working with a lot of young men like me, a lot of
Mhm.
young men who were in the streets, a lot of young men who did not have the best experiences in school. And I realized that it wasn't even about my life and about overcoming the felonies as much as it was about showing them that they could overcome the circumstances that they've been given.
Mhm.
So I always tell people, like, the reason why I got my PhD is because I had to, I was supposed to, right? If Ijeoma doesn't get his PhD, then how is, Tyrone going to know that he can make it out and do the things that he wants to do?
Mhm.
Tyrone sees typically, and I don't take anything away from these individuals, but when you typically meet a Black man who is a PhD, their trajectory was set. They did good in high school, they did good in college, like they, and or at least that's how they present themselves. You don't meet many folks like me who was like, bro, I was in the streets until I was 20 something years old. And if it wasn't for me catching them felonies, I probably wouldn't have never went back to school and pursued my education, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like young men needed to see me. They needed to see somebody that talked like them and walked like them and had the same experience of them, and then say, like, and this dude got a doctorate too.
Mhm.
Like, if he could do it, then man, I could do it too. So that's really the reason why I got my PhD, is because I wanted to be an example.
Mhm.
I didn't want to just, talk the talk. I wanted to be able to walk that walk as well. I think the way that it's impacted me is that it's legitimized my story.
Mhm.
Equity work is about understanding who you are as an individual and where your moral code lies, right? People need to understand that the reason why you're doing this work is because you genuinely care and you genuinely love them, right? Not because you're trying to use it as a stepping stone for something that is disingenuous.
Mhm.
I feel like when people see me as an equity warrior, they say, like, look, like, he ain't got to be here. He got
Mhm.
other options, right? But he really here because his heart is here, right? He
Yeah,
really
yeah.
here because we see the work and the sacrifice that he's put in to do this type of work. So for me, it has always been about purpose and a calling,
Mhm.
and acknowledging the creator and what the creator puts you on this earth to do, right? One of the mistakes that we make as American citizens is we value money,
Yeah.
in the pursuit of money, right?
Mhm.
And I don't hate on anybody who wants to do that. But for me, my value core was different,
Mhm.
right? I was raised in the value of service. And the one thing that I was taught is money will come if you are operating within your purpose,
Mhm.
right? So my purpose is to help young people overcome the obstacles that they have experienced in life. Then I got to go get my PhD because that's part of that purpose. That's part of that work. And
Mhm.
then I got to devote myself to using that PhD to give back to them and to pour into them in a way. And what has happened is I've never had to worry about a paycheck.
Mhm.
I've never had, look, I'm telling you this, and this is in all honesty, outside of the one academic job I've had, I haven't had to apply for a job.
Uh-huh.
People have come and they've been like, look, here's, like, we gonna
Yeah.
give you this, right? But that is only because everything lines up.
Mhm.
Everything kind of adds up. So those are the reasons why I got my doctorate, and how it's impacted me.
Yeah, I really like the ideology, it's just a higher purpose. Like it makes me think of there's like this J. Cole song and he talks about, once you die, you know, the money ain't nothing really. You know what I mean? But, the I feel like the change you left is gonna mean something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
stories you help construct is gonna mean something. You get what I'm saying? So I really like that. Yeah, and I definitely resonate with that and agree with that.
If the whole world moved this way, the
Mhm.
world would be a better place, right?
Mhm.
I mean, the reality of it is let's say you a garbage man, and that's
Mhm.
your purpose in life, is to pick up trash. You will become rich because you don't realize how much trash there is in the world.
Mhm.
You also don't realize how many people don't want to pick up their own trash, right? But
Yeah.
if that's your purpose,
Mhm.
You will have people from all over the world come and knock on your door and say, "Hey, can you take care of my trash?" And then you will find something in the picking up of trash that allows you to really change the world. You'll
Mhm.
have somebody come to you and say, like, "Look, my life was going all over the place until you came in and you picked up the trash. Why? Because by picking up the trash in my life, you actually ordered my steps. I was actually able to live beyond the chaos, right?" So if you could just find your purpose and just live in that, man, I'm trying to tell you, everything else becomes simple.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. We thank you for listening to part 3 of this podcast. To further listen to this discussion, visit part 4.